All right. What a weekend of
So
sports. And by what a weekend of sports, I mean, what a shit weekend of sports. My God, there was literally nothing going on. I was watching the Pro-Am at one point, the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, Everett.
the Pebble
When was the
Beach.
last time you've heard me talk about golf ever?
Well, we were talking. Actually, no, it was
Ah,
2 weeks
damn it.
ago,
You're
and
talking about middle school
and
golf.
I. Oh well, no, that alone needs to be its own clip because that was supposed to be a clip.
I
A
feel like
really long
Connor and I were
time ago.
definitely talking about middle school golf last time you were in LA, but
Well, no. So what I was talking about, well, one, we have to re-go through the clip where you were talking about how middle school golf is just like a bunch of just goons.
I mean,
That it's just a whole
the
cheated
craziest
system.
experience I've had in my athletic career. Okay, the least
we do need
honorable
to mark that
system.
down, but it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was asking you to get some stuff up for the podcast, and you text me like, yeah, no, I'm golfing with my roommate and his dad right now.
Oh
Like,
yes, I went golfing with my roommate the other week. That is the
yeah, I
last
don't
time
know
I
what you
brought up
scored
golf.
on that. I don't know how you scored that day.
So for that round, I wasn't keeping score. Lot of mulligans.
Okay.
Lot of mulligans. If I shank the tee shot, you bet your ass I'm reteeing off.
So the people behind you were just sitting there and just like,
thank God
just,
it was 2 holes behind us. By the time we got to the 8th hole, all right, we're not even halfway done. They were 1 hole behind us. All right, they caught up. But
oh boy, that reminds me of there was one time that it was me, one of our other unnamed interns, another unnamed intern, and a mutual friend of ours.
yeah, no, I would pretty much just say
what was his name? His name was oh, sorry, fraud alerts been going on in the background.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't mention it.
No, but one of our mutual friends, his name's Jose. We'll call him Jose for this. Your mom's very, very aware of who Jose is.
Rico.
But sorry, Rico. Okay, we'll call him Rico. We'll call him Rico. Yeah, Rico brought a crayon, a mega crayon, like the size of my torso, to this golf course and was trying to play golf with a mega crayon.
Yeah, that's
not to mention he already can't play golf. So it was rather interesting of a situation.
Yeah, when it comes to golf, I am a massive dimplehead, don't get me wrong. But I have not gotten out to hit the range. I haven't been out hitting the holes in a while, okay? I would say it's probably been like 4 or 5 years since I was like golf somewhat regularly. And I know that, golf it's not a fun time when there's one straggler in the group, when there's one guy clearly worse than everyone else, slows everything down. You're not going to have a good time. So
you're not going to have a good time, man.
My one suggestion is golf with people at your skill level, so it's not an inconvenience.
And don't bring a mega crayon.
Yeah, and let's just say I'm not at the skill level of my roommate and his dad, so that wasn't a great scenario. But yeah, I don't bring up golf much. But anyway,
no. I mean, you are the biggest dimplehead I know, so
I'm a massive
surprised.
Dimplehead. It is shocking, but yeah, I was watching Pebble Beach Pro-Am over the weekend. That's how dry it was. I'll be honest. A lot of the times I'll check like my ESPN or Score app to like see what games are on, and the Pro Bowl wasn't on there to be found, so I wasn't really aware it was going on until like halftime when I checked Twitter and there was like tweets about it. I was like, oh, that's going on right now. I didn't know.
Senior Bowl was on, but I
was more so interested in that over the weekend than
I didn't even watch it because my boy Tyjae. Well, Dorian wasn't playing.
You didn't need to watch it. All the clips I didn't need to watch online everywhere.
They also said like they gave him 1 rep at running back. Like he caught a couple passes and had 1 run as a running back. Like that was it. Like that's all they did. So
wait, really?
Yeah,
the coach. I saw
from practice, but according to
you mean the game itself?
The game itself, but like according to like the analysts or like coaches that were there, like they are.
No, if I was Tyjae Spears, I would say, do not fucking actually play me in this game.
Yeah, no, like the coaches like
do not play me.
The coaches told like the like staffers to be like, don't play him because they've already seen what they needed to see.
We've seen it.
That's literally.
No, I'm gonna be honest. Like Senior Bowl, like. Getting hurt in that, dude.
God. Brutal.
That's so bad. You're a month away from the draft or 2 months away.
You still have the
April,
combine.
yeah?
Like a lot of those dudes get invited to the combine. You have your pro day. You cannot being able to do any of that.
The draft's like mid-April.
Yeah, it's like April 17th.
Yeah. Pro days late March.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
After March Madness. Yeah. Or during March Madness.
Let me see when our pro day is.
And then pro days are in like April. Or late March. Yeah.
Our pro day is March 16th. Our pro day is March 16th.
Oh, okay. Then the combine's early March.
Yeah, the combine's before pro day.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Once you say March, I go straight to college basketball. All right, I'll be. You're more of the NFL offseason guy. All right, you know more of those dates than I do. All right, this is where after this Sunday, I am full into college basketball, and I'm not giving a preview for college basketball this episode, but Everett, North Carolina, Duke, Blue Bloods, they're going to be like 6, 7, 8 seeds this year at the tournament. All right.
I know. I've watched.
The 1 seed. Purdue's a 1 seed.
Duke
as
just
of
lost
right now.
Too. Duke's
not looking good, even though they had,
I'm
pretty sure, 3 of the top 5 recruits in the last recruiting cycle. It's weird how that works. Anyway, though, what a pre-show intro. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today it is episode number 89. 89. One away from the big 9-0. I guess that'll be our Super Bowl preview episode. The big 9-0.
Oh, it will.
The big 9-0. That's kind of exciting. That's a little exciting. But it's the big 89. And, not the most exciting weekend of sports. But last episode, we recorded a little bit early. It missed something that was a little bit important.
So, yeah, no, we said when we started recording, we're recording this on Sunday.
2 minutes into recording.
Literally within the first 2 minutes, we were like, you know what? We're recording it early. We're probably going to miss some mega news. Like, it's just like with our, like it's going to happen.
We thought we got the news because at that point, Sean Payton had signed. D'Amico Ryans had signed. We thought we got our news.
We were like, we're gonna have something inevitably come up that we're going to miss. That's going to be massive news. And guess what? Not even 24 hours later, Tom Brady announces that he's retiring.
Yeah. That's bad. That's bad on us. That's really bad on us, Everett.
Also, what else was there? There was something else that I texted you. I'm like, oh yeah, this also happened.
There was
Brock Purdy has to get Tommy John. That's what the other thing is. Out for a year.
And okay, I'm not entirely sure the difference. I don't know exactly how Tommy Johns work. I've tried asking my baseball friends how the fuck do these work. Sometimes you tell them like, oh, Tommy John tear, and sometimes like, oh, they'll be back in a year. For Walker Buehler, it's like, we'll see you in like 18 years, dude. So I don't know. I don't know how Tommy John's surgery works. I don't know.
It said that he could be back in a year, but there's a possibility that he's back in 6 to 9 months. So it's
We're
really
talking Purdy, not Walker.
Purdy,
here, right?
No, Walker's probably not going to be back for like 5 years.
I don't think Walker's pitching till 2024.
Well, it is UCLA health, so I mean,
yeah, and we know how critical we are of UCLA health on this podcast,
which is probably not good for me. But I love you, UCLA health. Like, trust me.
Just make sure our pitchers' elbows are fine. Okay?
Just
you did a great job with Dustin May, Dr. Elatrosh, but we gotta get Walker.
If I apply to your program, let me in, and I'll fix everything. I promise. I promise.
Yeah, Everett's got the skills to pay the bills, especially when it comes to Tommy John surgery.
Even though I'm not even applying to try and be in that kind of department, but yeah, just let me in.
You're not going into like, I guess, is that sports surgery? Tommy John's like,
yeah,
like
orthopedics.
Could you get Tommy John just from life? Like,
no, it's through like you.
I've only heard of a quarterback or pitcher or a shortstop getting it.
It was such a weird injury though for Purdy because like he was like in motion, but it wasn't really like a whip. Like it was just like because somebody ran up into like his elbow.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, I'm no doctor. That looked painful to me.
Like, I just thought it was going to be like a sprain or something.
I don't know.
Anyways,
but
yeah, no, but we missed some pretty important...
we botched some notable news. So we made that.
But that's
corrected our mistake.
But that's why you guys watch the Waterboy podcast.
We've corrected our mistake, and it is 9:30 on Monday night, wherever it is. We're uploading this in under 12 hours. So round of applause for whoever the hell our wonderful producer is for this episode.
We are also playing with the time zones. You know, we travel in time back and forth in time, and it might be 12 hours till the episode's up my time, but that doesn't mean it's 12 hours for you.
Well, actually,
technically it's still 12 hours.
Whatever,
yeah,
I fucked that up. Whatever. Okay. All right. Before we dive into that, we're saving the NFL for last. All right. Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks. Everett. Now we're not basketball. I try to think of a word for it. We're not dribble heads on this podcast.
Hoop heads. Hooper heads.
And you know, I have no analysis on Kyrie Irving to the Mavs. I couldn't tell you a damn thing about how much this will improve the Mavs or anything. Okay. I got one angle on this and one angle only. Apparently Nets owner Joe Tsai refused to trade Kyrie to the Lakers. And with that in mind, fuck you, Joe Tsai.
Seriously, fuck you.
I don't like you, Joe Tsai. I don't like you.
The reason why he said that he wasn't going to trade him to the Lakers was because he wanted to send Kyrie to. He didn't want to send Kyrie to a place he wanted to go.
No, literally.
He literally, you know how Lovie Smith said, fuck you on the way out to the Texans organization? That's essentially what the owner did to Kyrie on
in a way.
Out.
Yes.
In a way.
Now,
like. No, I mean, the Mavericks are still contenders, right? And I mean, it's a good trade for the Nets.
I'm almost 99% positive the Mavericks are in a much better state than the Lakers right now currently. So I guess from the shape, well, this is also another thing I was even thinking about. Like if Kyrie went to the Lakers, like I'm not watching the Lakers that much, but everyone's been saying like their shooting is the problem. Like if they added Kyrie, like that doesn't fix the shooting. Like,
you're replacing Russ. You're replacing Russell Westbrook with Kyrie. That's essentially what's happening.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the Lakers would have traded like a 2032 pick, and I'm pretty sure that's like a sixth grader right now. So they would have traded a sixth grader in that trade. So yeah, there's that to think about too.
Hey man, there's one sixth grader out there. Like,
oh no, really be balling. There's 100% a sixth grader out there right now who's going to be absurdly ridiculous, and we'll all be old and crippled and washed up in our 40s watching him. Like, oh my god, this guy's the greatest guy ever. But we're not there yet, and we're not crippling old in our 40s, so I don't really care at this point in my life. But yeah, though, Joe Tsai, I don't like you, dude. I don't like you. And it could have been beautiful, LeBron and Kyrie repartnering up. Maybe, I mean, I think they moved past their like immediate like breakup when Kyrie was like, I don't want to play for LeBron. I want to have my own team. I think they've moved past that. I think Kyrie has shown since leaving LeBron that he isn't quite capable of leading a team on his own. So I think
he never has been able to.
Past that. I think they've gone past
Just
that.
Remember the Celtics team that's currently the current Celtics team. I mean, yeah.
Now the cops are coming for you, Everett.
basically, the Celtics team that currently, I mean, the current Celtics team is not really any different besides the fact that Kyrie's not there anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to what they had. And obviously Jason Tatum's way better at basketball now than.
I mean, Jaylen Brown is also, and
Jaylen Brown too, obviously. But yes, I get the point.
So
I mean, yeah.
I feel bad for Braun. Like not even like an hour after the trade, Braun tweeted, I was like, is it just me? Like,
I forgot this morning Braun came out like in a public interview and was talking about like how pissed he was they didn't get Kyrie. And I'm gonna be honest, like if I was Russell Westbrook right now, I'd be like, yeah, I hate the Lakers. I hate them. Yeah. If I'm now, I've been fraud alert, Russell Westbrook. Exactly.
They're really out tonight.
I've been very I haven't been the biggest fan of Russell Westbrook since he joined the Lakers. But at this point, now I kind of feel bad for the dude. Obviously, I'm not that big of a Laker fan. Like, I bet Laker fans have a different opinion on him. But, I mean, shit. LeBron going out the day after. Like, what did I do wrong? Why does God hate me? Like,
also, how could you not love Patrick Beverley on the Lakers, too?
I'll be honest. Like, Bev was one of those guys where when he was on the Clippers,
he was so annoying.
I hated him, but I like wish I could root for him. You get what I mean? Like there's annoying people like Draymond where you're truly like, I actually hate you. But Pat Bev, now I could be a little biased just because he's on the Lakers now. But even when he was on the Timberwolves, that shit was fun. But Pat Bev, he's kind of a guy where like, I want those antics on my team. Like, it's not Draymond Green level. Maybe. I mean, that's debatable.
Have you ever seen somebody pull out a camera mid-game to show the ref how
actually the funniest shit of all time? Like,
oh my Lord.
And just first, the creativity and the wit of Patrick Beverley. Now, I know he started his basketball podcast, and maybe that's helped him with his creativity and wit. And maybe he was thinking, I got to produce a viral moment right now on Friday night. Maybe that's what he was thinking. But Pat Bev, tip the cap. That was, I mean, I'll be honest. LeBron also had one of the most hilarious on-court moments in that same game.
Okay, like to be fair,
5 minutes before.
To be fair, the refs did literally blow a terrible call.
Blow a terrible call. I was watching that live. That was one of the few Lakers game I've been watching live this year, and that was one of my favorite LeBron moments ever when he did that freak out. It was like he reacted to news that, like, I don't know, World War III just started. Like, it was the funniest reaction I've ever seen to a blown call. And it's like, he's like 38. I didn't even think he had the energy in him to give that much theatrics on that. But damn, that was
my man wants to go out with a ring.
Yeah, I can understand from that angle. I mean, you're like, what, the 13th seed in the West right now, Everett? Like, they're bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. We need help. I get that.
And the trade deadline is this Thursday.
Yeah, this Thursday.
Also, Jeannie Buss already has specifically been like, I'm not putting more money into the Lakers right now. So why the fuck would you not fire the GM who's been burning through it all with terrible roster decisions?
I'm just saying, I'm no expert, but one thing that I'll never understand is why the Lakers got rid of Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee for Marc Gasol and Montrezl Harrell. I'll never understand that move.
And they got rid of Rajon.
And Rondo, on offense, when you had now obviously they had no idea AD's. Well, maybe they had a slight inkling that AD was about to start getting injured a lot, but a healthy LeBron and AD, that's your scoring. You need to surround them with shooters, and they need another defensive presence because AD doesn't want to play center on defense. So you throw JaVale McGee or Dwight in at center so they can do the grunt bitch work on defense. AD doesn't want to do that. And I mean, shit, if I'm AD, I wouldn't want to do that either. I get hurt all the time. I can't be doing the bitch work. I'm going to get hurt. So that's his excuse. Valid. And then you got to surround him with shooters. Luckily, KCP was that shooter in 2020. I don't know how.
Not Danny Green. Not Danny Green.
All right. Ooh, God, to this day, I still feel bad for Danny Green when he missed that three.
Yeah, the three in the bubble.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know how you can even go out on the court for game 6 after missing that. He should, if he deleted his Twitter account that night, would have been understandable.
When you sign somebody specifically for their 3-point shooting ability and they can't do that in the game that it matters, what the fuck are you doing?
And it was, I'll be honest, it was that whole bubble run. But we're talking too much about basketball. We're talking.
We're a football podcast.
We're done with this.
College football
would have been cool if Kyrie went to the Lakers, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't actually care.
College football.
College football. First things first. Tyjae Spears hype, Everett. Now, we were talking about a little bit before. Tyjae Spears got held out of the Senior Bowl game itself, but when you have the weekend that he had, he was turning eyes like no other. Now, I brought up DeJuan Jones last week and how his wingspan was blowing everyone off the charts. Well, Tyjae Spears, his on-field performance was blowing everyone off the charts.
I've been saying this all year.
You've been saying it all year. I've been saying it since about November, the first time I talked to you about him, because you had not mentioned him for the first 3 months of the season. But he's blossoming.
Well, you know why also I hadn't mentioned is one I said I wasn't going to talk about.
Yes, there is that included as well.
But also you specifically told me as well, let's not talk about Tulane because after we posted that one.
No, that is true. That's true.
You told me not to talk about it.
I'm also just thinking, even going back to the preseason and everything, I was like, I feel like Tyjae Spears, I should have been aware who he was. I'm not saying you. I'm talking also to chat. I'm saying I should have been aware of this guy's name by week 1 of the season. All I'm saying, next year we'll work on that, okay? Well, I'll figure out the running back by July this year. By July, I'll know who the running back is.
All right, okay.
Or at least the potential ones. I don't know if it's committed.
Okay. It'll probably be committee, but yeah.
But with Tyjae Spears, this man is jumping up boards. Now, we were saying this guy, if like Alvin Kamara went round 3, this dude should be round 3. And another thing that I also wanted to say, now we know Tulane is an elite football program, but if there's any imbeciles out there who are under the impression that Tulane isn't, I just want to say it doesn't fucking matter where you come from as a running back when it comes to the NFL. There's so many NFL running backs from just no-name places that pop up and have phenomenal seasons, okay?
Where did Pacheco come from?
Pacheco, I think it's Toledo or Akron.
There you go.
I think.
And the Super Bowl.
I could be wrong on that. But
like, I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a first-round pick from LSU. Look at how bad he is, how bad he's been in that offense. Look at Pacheco come in from bumfuck college. I mean, not bumfuck, but like middle of nowhere.
I get what you mean. No, but I'm saying
I don't want to be disrespectful to Isaiah Pacheco's college. Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful.
He's in the Super Bowl, you know.
But he's in the Super Bowl and he's actually productive in that offense that has not had a productive running back in a long time. And also with Tulane's running back specifically, Matt Forte, potential Hall of Fame running back, NFL great, Bear great, Tulane running back. Orleans Darkwa, if you remember Orleans Darkwa. Tulane running back. Dontrell Hilliard, Tulane running back. There is a very strong legacy of Tulane running backs in the NFL, whether or not you know it or not. And Tyjae Spears just so happens to have the best traits of all of them.
I do think Tyjae Spears, this man, I've been saying it all year, but this is your waiver wire pickup that's taking you to glory. And another thing, when it comes to running backs, I also don't care which team you're on. You can make an impact on any team. Okay. So I don't really care
if Grant drafts him in the 5th round of our fantasy draft this year.
Whoa. I would never do that to his rookie year, Everett.
Okay, are you kidding me? I just had to make sure.
That would be if I did that. Okay, actually, wait.
Just how to make sure.
Slight theory for next year. Should I place a hex on a player in my fit? Should I plan it to hex a player? Should I purposely draft a Chiefs guy round 5 to place a hex on them?
Take the under on somebody's season long yardage and then draft them in the 5th round.
I'll inform the
draft them in the 5th round.
And the second I let you know, that value will be
slam the under
because everyone will be slamming the under. All right, I move lines like no other in this business. But the Tyjae Spears hype is real. All right, this man, I've been seeing a lot of people hyping up. I've seen a lot of Alvin Kamara comparisons for him.
So
where it's cut, great balance, staying on his feet, good vision.
Let me talk about my guy a little bit.
Big time plays.
Let me talk about my guy a little bit. So if you
that is true, you were his personal liaison for the Cotton Bowl. People forget.
So if you guys didn't know, I work for Tulane football. I'm associated to the sports med program. So I mean, I'm there for all the practices and all the games and everything. And my department just so happened to be the running back room. And obviously with everything going on, with Tyjae specifically, I have worked closely with him. I know him. He's my guy. I love him. And I've had the ability to watch him get better, to watch him practice every day. And I will say personally, I have never seen somebody so committed to practicing. I've seen him come in early and just get right on the pads. I've seen him stay late and practice catching. This man does everything.
So he's got that dog in him?
He has the Mamba mentality. Okay. He's the first one in, last one out. And he is always working on making sure that he can be the best running back that he can be. I've never seen somebody have that kind of work ethic in my life.
So high praise in the work ethic side. I do think he also just fits the NFL skill set so well with what he does best. And I was also looking back, I noticed he didn't get many catches out of the backfield, but that could also have just been a factor. That could have just been how Tulane's offense was designed.
This year,
I think he will be very effective in quick, short.
When we did use him out of the backfield, when he caught passes, we used it a lot more towards the end of the season. And when we did that, I'm pretty sure, I don't know what it is specifically, but if you look at his average yards after catch or just yards per reception,
Yeah.
it's probably pretty decent because he knows. I mean, when he gets into space, Tyjae has the ability to make basically anybody miss. Like he is a incredibly skillful runner. And I mean, like you've seen, everybody has seen the clip from him at the Senior Bowl of snapping the linebacker's ankles.
No,
getting
yeah,
behind him.
that route
But
specifically really made me.
that's not the first time he's done that. He did it in the Cotton Bowl. He did it versus Cincinnati. He did it versus Memphis. He did it versus UCF. Like he does. Like this is what he does. This is the player that he is. That's not just like a fluke thing that's happened. That's the way that he plays, and I guarantee you can expect to see that from him in the NFL.
Another thing I really like is he's one of those running backs from at least what I got to saw who one of those guys who invites contact, likes contact, wants to hit people. And that's something
he's not afraid of contact.
Yes, that's a better way to put it.
That's the better way to
put it. Okay, actually, take back everything I just said. That's not what the NFL is looking for. If there's a man in front of him and then there's green grass to the right, he's going to go to the green grass, okay?
He's going to go to the right.
He's not going to pull a Zeke and try to truck him, all right? He's going to go to the green grass, okay? Forget what I just said. But
Tyjae is
man can run inside zone, break a tackle, and bust it off for 60. That was the point I was trying to make.
He also knows, like, if you give him a pitch, let's say you give him a pitch and there's 3 defenders coming right at him at the line of scrimmage, could get a tackle for loss. More than likely, he's going to find a way to get a couple yards. I've seen it all year. I saw it last year.
Okay, real quick. Go on. I just have a great
stat. I mean, it's incredible to watch. Like this year, whenever the ball went into his hands, I knew that no matter what, we were getting positive yardage, no matter how like unlikely it looked, no matter how kind of closed off it was looking. Like versus Cincinnati, I'm standing there on the sideline. They're running a pitch out to the left side towards me. There's 3 defenders closing in on him, like 2 linebackers in the corner, and he's still got like 5 yards. So yes. I've seen him do the unthinkable.
I'm looking at something right now, Everett. This is hilarious. In the last 8 games to end the season, Tyjae Spears ran for over 100 yards, and I'm pretty sure, just looking on this rough math off the top of my head, average 160 rushing yards a game over the last 8 games of the season. Yep. Also, in that time frame, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, scored 13 touchdowns over the last 8 games. That's a lot. 14. My bad. 14.
He had 21 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, 14 touchdowns over the last 8 weeks. Late bloomers or late risers, a lot of production late in the year against better competition. That's what you're looking for.
21
when
touchdowns.
When the stakes are on,
season.
He turns it up. That's what
also if anybody wants to know what kind of receiving threat Tyjae is, I highly recommend, and this you can clip this too. Highly recommend
Houston game,
final play of the game, walk off in overtime. Kai Horton, our backup quarterback.
Oh, yes.
Pass to the corner of the end zone to Tyjae in coverage. Tyjae catches it in coverage and in contested catch, walk-off touchdown, toe tap.
Very impressive. Very impressive. I think we both think the sky's the limit. We just feel like we need to inform the people on this one. Okay. Tyjae Spears, keep your name or keep your eye on the name, Tyjae Spears. Okay.
I mean, Tyjae, if you're listening, just want to say, I love you, man. Congratulations. Do well in the NFL.
No pressure, but we'd love to have you on the podcast, man.
But yeah, you're going to do great, bro.
Yeah, no, you will be on all of my fantasy teams. And that's the biggest achievement you could actually have in your NFL career.
However, if Grant does draft you in the 5th round, bubble wrap yourself.
I will not be doing
that. Bubble wrap yourself.
I promise I will not draft you in the 5th round, Tyjae. Now that I think about it, I don't know why I just had this perception that rookie running backs don't get drafted high. I feel like every year, like round 4, 5, 6, like that's where the rookie running backs and like the top teams go. So if Tyjae goes, what if Tyjae Spears? Well, I guess Chiefs wouldn't really like make sense, but I don't know. Fuck. What teams like a running back away? Give me one quick.
Bills.
To a degree, Bills. Yeah, we could say Bills to a degree. If he went there, shit, there's a chance he might be mocked round 5. And if that's the
Chargers,
case,
Chargers need a second running back. Dolphins need a running back. Dolphins need a running back.
The thing though is, if we got Tyjae Spears, I wouldn't want to do that to him because, like, well, it's a new. Actually, no. New offensive coordinator.
Offense.
It's not Joe Lombardi. Kellen Moore loves 2 running back offenses. Actually, whole new thing. Never mind. That's possible.
All right. Next item.
Real quick, Jaden Rashada NIL deal. The official contract details just came out, Everett, and I just wanted to hear your quick reactions to them. It totaled to a $13 million deal with Florida.
13.5 million. Sorry.
13.5. And that half is an upfront signing bonus of $500K upon signing. That's where that half came from. Then the further stipulation is the salary, if you will. $250K a month as a freshman, $292K a month as a sophomore, and $375K a month as a junior.
I just registered that you said a month.
A month.
I thought you're saying
a
year.
Month. We're not talking like month.
I'm like sitting here. I'm like, yeah, that's probably more than I'll make like for a really long time. And then I realized that you were talking about a month, not a year. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean that deal. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know what his deal is with Arizona State.
His freshman year he would have made $3 million.
I don't know what his deal is with Arizona State anymore, but
it's definitely not.
I can understand why. I can understand why the Florida collective did not let that contract go through.
Yeah, I don't think they ever had that money to begin with.
No, I think the bank declined their loan.
Yeah, or some booster was like, wait, this guy's not even a top 5 ranked quarterback in the class. Why the fuck are we giving him a 13.5 mil? Pull the plug, hold the phone. That could have also been it. But
that could have been it.
Yeah, $375K a month as a junior. And if he wasn't good enough for the NFL and had to stay a senior year, he would have gotten $195K a month as a senior. These were the stipulations in the contract, however. This is where I kind of think it's a little more interesting how lack of a commitment this kid had to make to fulfill this contract, okay? These were the stipulations. He had to be a resident of Gainesville. So that's the loophole of Florida saying you have to be a Florida student to get this NIL deal. You have to live in Gainesville. So that's like a little loophole there. The next thing is he has to have 1 branded Twitter and Instagram post per month. So just 1. So that's 12 social media posts a year. You fulfill that segment. Then 8 fan engagements per year. So in theory, he could knock those 8 fan engagements out in a fucking weekend if he wanted to, Everett. And then the last part, my favorite, autograph 15 pieces of merch a year.
15.
Sign 15 autographs a year.
Oh my God.
I mean, if that's not fucking pay to play, then what is?
So would I be able to count, like if I'm walking off the field or some shit and like there are kids there asking me to sign their stuff, if I just go in a line and it's just 15 kids,
you knock it out for the year.
One game, I'm done.
For the year, you knock it out, Everett.
That's how you start getting people who are really entitled.
Exactly. But I mean, is that not the definition of pay to play?
It's more. It sounds like what Cardale's been dreaming of, but can't actually do for
literally.
Ohio State.
I was bashing Cardale Jones a little bit just for how he was like talking back to the Ohio State fans. But after hearing what Cardale says and the lack of support he gets from the university, I'm on Team Cardale. All right. I'm on fucking Team 12 gauge. All right. We need to get that man his fucking money to splash out on these dudes. I'm just saying, Everett. There's only 1 5-star committed to the Big Ten in the most recent recruiting cycle. How the fuck is that possible? Literally, I have no idea how that's possible.
Like, wouldn't be able to tell you, man. I don't know.
USC, who's about to join the Big Ten, they alone have more 5-stars than the entire conference that they're about to join.
There really needs. LA technically. I mean, would you rather live in LA or Ohio? But
no. I get that.
So when you're going to a team that did just let up 15 points versus Tulane to lose the Cotton Bowl in the last 2 minutes of the game.
I mean, you're looking at it from the jab angle. I'm looking at it from if Ohio State grosses the highest amount of revenue from football every year, then how are they like 50th in NIL? The university isn't supporting it. Like Alabama just created an NIL facility in their fucking like practice facility.
Is it just a vault filled with money? Like it's
I
just
think it's
gold
just
bars.
a vault filled of just fucking bands, like literally.
This
is how much money we gave Mark Ingram at Alabama, even though it wasn't legal yet. This is how much money we gave
it's like
Julio. This is how much money.
So USC has like their little like ring like Hall of Fame area where they have like just imagine
like
this
the
is
and shit there.
Yeah, at Bama you have a vault in the center
bagmen.
of a center. In the center of the vault, it's just a tube with all the money for your collective, and then around the outside, it's just pictures of all like your best players, and underneath it, it's like the amount of money that they got, and it's just like
what if they just have a ledger of all under the table Alabama?
It's a red book. It's a red book,
like literally proven. Like, son, you're about to sign the second largest under the table NIL deal in the history of our school. Do you know how big that is, son? You know, you're getting more than Julio when you consider inflation. Do you understand that?
They go to meetings. They go to meetings and like they're trying to explain it, and just for like the demonstration of measurement, they like whip out like a dictionary, like a heavy book, slam it on the table.
Oh,
they're like flipping through
they're like
flipping through the pages.
Shit. All right,
they're flipping through the pages like they have it bookmarked. They're like.
Yeah, they got it. They got it separated with tabs and shit, making sure it's nice and neat. We can go to the somewhat public scandals, completely under the table, the really bad scandals, things that would put us in prison scandals. They have all of it, and it's all color coded, nice and labeled and everything. So all the people at Alabama can actually read it. So
it's in the restricted section.
That was a bit
Alabama.
of a jab. I apologize for that, but I'm not even sure how we start. I'm about to start bringing up the Alabama DC OC situation, so I'm not even sure how.
Oh, there you go.
Alabama NIL room. That's how we have to start talking.
Right. But,
all right. Yeah. The Jaden Rashada deal is fucking nuts. And he's
let's go into Bama's OC and DC. That's a perfect
Bama
transition.
OC and
Bama
DC.
OC DC.
Tommy Rees, former offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, who I've criticized on the show a good amount, has been hired as Alabama offensive coordinator. And as an Ohio State USC fan, this is a win-lose situation for me, okay? It is a win because Alabama is downgrading at offensive coordinator for the first time since I can remember with Nick Saban taking over. I maybe you could say the Pete Golding hire didn't turn out great. You could say the Bill O'Brien hire didn't turn out great. You could say that. But it's never been this dire. This is genuinely terrifying if you're an Alabama fan, or at least if you're a logical one. Now, for some listeners who don't,
none of them are logical. So
there's actually a couple. I actually found a couple. I was shocked, and it was people saying like, "Yeah, I'll be honest, Ohio State's pretty fucking good." It was very biased. If Ohio State didn't play like that against Georgia, I wouldn't have gained any respect for Alabama fans. But for those who don't know who Tommy Rees is, he was the OC at Notre Dame and a former quarterback at Notre Dame, and he went viral last year for cussing out backup quarterback Drew Pine, saying, quote, "Do your fucking job. The whole team is counting on you." And he was caught saying that. Video went everywhere. Now that's Tommy Rees. He's just been hired as Alabama OC. You can look up Notre Dame's offensive numbers. I'm pretty sure they don't rank above 45th in any sub-stat in the country on offense last year. So not very enticing. Not very enticing if you're an Alabama fan. Now, that's why it's a win for me because Alabama's downgrading, but it's an L for me because now Notre Dame, whoever they hire, is going to be an upgrade at OC, and Ohio State and USC have to play them next year. So that's why it's an L for me because Notre Dame's offense is going to get better, and they just got Sam Hartman. So
Sam Hartman
might be very interesting. Now they actually have a fucking OC Everett. Now that game's very, very interesting, Everett. Very interesting. But on the defense side, Alabama hires Kevin Steele, another questionable hire who has been jumping around team to team a lot. Most recently, he was the defense coordinator for the phenomenal Miami, Florida team last year, Everett, the Miami Hurricanes, and how successful they were last year. So that was his most recent stint as DC, and that's now Alabama's defensive coordinator. So yeah, this is the first time I can remember in a while where Nick Saban didn't get his home run hires, not even just at either coordinator position, but at either coordinator position. He didn't get good hires at either. So I'm going to come out here and say the Nick Saban run's officially done. I give Nick 2 more years and then he's going to retire. It's only downhill from here if you're an Alabama fan. And you guys can say it's uphill, but Nick Saban's the greatest coach in college football. So once he's gone, it's only downhill from there. So yeah, Alabama, the reign is up. Georgia is the king of the sport officially after these coordinator hires.
I mean, I think they were the Kings beforehand too. I wouldn't really say that it made much of a difference.
Wait, Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia.
No. I'm saying for the prospective future. I know Alabama just ripped the most absurd recruiting class ever. Not going to get. They got 2 5-star running backs. 2 5-star running backs. But I'm not taking away anything from that. But based on these OCDC hires, yikes. Tommy Rees and Kevin Steele. But that's all I have in college football, Everett. Fraud alert, Tommy Rees.
I mean,
yeah,
we'll see. Bit
of a mess in Alabama.
Bit of a mess. Oh,
yeah, fraud alert.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in LA tonight, but there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of sirens going on over there.
What's going on is like, okay, I think it's. I think it's wrapping up now. I think it's wrapping up now. I think it's
okay. All right. Okay. I couldn't hear anything. I was just seeing you look back and forth. All right. Okay. So I don't know if you have anything specific for the NFL. I do have 2 things prepared. One of them will include a segment itself. So if you have anything to talk about, we can talk about it now before I get into that. So, but otherwise,
yes, we got to go over Tom Brady retiring. Now.
I'm not gonna lie.
3 weeks ago, we were both sitting here like, I mean, shit. I have higher hopes of Brady playing next year than Aaron Rodgers. Like I at least said that. And then literally in our last episode, the day before we knew Brady retired, we were literally sitting here debating whether the Niners should go to Brady or stay with Brock Purdy. Literally the day before we retired, we're like, wait, Brady on the Niners might actually be pretty fucking So
we were arguing about that, and I know it diverged into something else, but also when we were talking about how something big was going to happen the next day we were going to miss, and I don't know, 45 minutes of our episode is us arguing about Tom Brady.
About that. Yeah.
We couldn't have made a bigger blunder than that.
Yeah, so we missed Tom Brady retiring, and my instant reaction is, if I'm Fox, I'm a little bit disappointed that he's already said he will not do the Super Bowl stream this weekend. Because I mean, shit. I mean, you're paying him Trey Turner money. He's getting $375 over 10 years. He's getting Trey Turner.
He already said that I don't think that contract actually starts until he actually starts.
No, yeah, I know, but I'm saying he could start that.
He said that he's not going to start broadcasting until
I think it was
2024. Yeah,
and you're off.
I'm happy for Greg Olsen because Greg Olsen was actually like pretty sad when he like realized that Tom Brady might retire, and that means he's going to lose his job. He actually does a pretty good job.
He's done a very good job. I like him a lot.
He has done a good job. I like him more than Tony Romo. Tony Romo has fallen off a monstrous.
No, I would say like the dream scenario is, well, Tom Brady will have to stay at Fox. Maybe Greg Olsen can go to CBS, and then Tony Romo gets hired to do the B team for Fox. Now that's a win-win.
Little trade there, a little
that's
market trade.
That's a win-win situation.
I like that.
You can trade him. You can. I guess. Yeah, Tony Romo would be more valuable than Greg Olsen. I feel like contract-wise.
I don't know.
Now, if you ask public opinion, it wouldn't be. But I feel like just branding and like Tony Romo would be worth more than Greg Olsen. So I feel like Fox would trade Greg Olsen and cash considerations for Tony Romo.
Okay. I don't think they want to, considering the contract he has is pretty bad. But yeah, so the interesting thing is the biggest thing to come out of the whole Tom Brady retiring thing is somebody sold a jar of sand from where he recorded his retirement speech for $16,000.
$16,000. Oh,
$16,000.
now we need to go over this. We need to go over this $16,000 sand. This is another thing I heard, Everett. Now, I didn't find this out, but I heard from a little birdie who told me that Tom Brady did not film and record that video the day he uploaded it. He was not in Miami when that video was uploaded. He pre-recorded that.
He's probably just sitting
I'm
on
not sure how far in
in
advance, but he pre-recorded that, which that makes me think that maybe
he announced it the same day as last year. When he went
through his stuff with Giselle, we were thinking, oh, this is now 3 years more. That might have been the day he made that video, Everett.
He also uploaded on the exact same day as last year when he announced he was retiring. He announced February 1st last year.
I did not know that.
Announced February 1st this year as well. So that just a little bit of an interesting factor there too to consider. But
now, one person I was also keeping in mind and instantly thinking of was Matt Ryan. When I heard this news. Now, Matt Ryan.
Does that make him the oldest quarterback in the NFL, or is that Aaron?
No, I don't know about that angle, and we're not here for that. But Matt Ryan, didn't have the greatest season last year, and it might be time for him to hang it up. But Matt Ryan, if he retires, like right after Brady, the Super Bowl memes, they're going to be absurd. I heard that Matt Ryan is considering retiring on March 28th this year, on 3/28, to just fully embrace all of the memes.
Everything.
One day where everyone can just, they won't get it out of their system. They'll live forever, but they're at least 30% of the internet will get all of their 28-3 memes completely out of their system if Matt Ryan retires on March 28th. And I don't know if this is confirmed, but I think Matt Ryan said that he's considering it to just fully embrace it. And I think it'd be a power move.
Good for him. I know the Colts need him to retire. So, yeah. Also, the Colts might hire Jeff's. If the Colts hire
contract, right? Because they're not playing for you. So, right?
It depends. Well, sometimes I think it depends on the situation. Because Bobby Bonilla, they had to still pay Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah. So, I also feel like Bobby Bonilla, there was just one year where the Mets were just like in cap hell. So they were like, okay, we're going to restructure this until fucking 2036. Okay. All right.
he was like, fine by me, man.
He's like, fuck it. We'll do it. Sure.
Fine.
But I just want to look at
also if the Colts actually hire Jeff Saturday to be their coach, if I'm Matt Ryan, I am retiring. It doesn't matter. It's a when, not an if. I'm out. You know what? Make me the quarterbacks coach at that point. I'll retire. You can put me on the staff because we're just hiring anybody to coach. So
I'll be honest. I looked up Matt Ryan's career earnings, and let's just say if I was Matt Ryan, I would not be interested in going back to coaching. No. I heard a question would you trade in, if you were Matt Ryan, would you trade in 80% of your net worth for that Super Bowl ring? I would say no after I looked at it. I would say nope, I'll keep
it. Really, it's that much?
Yeah. Matt Ryan, Matty Ice did good for himself.
Just a general note though, I do really like the fact that there are more players becoming coaches and becoming head coaches. I think having the younger coordinators being players and having that the way the game's going, rather than just random some random old head that might have played in college a while back. It's great for the game. It's great for the players, and for coaches too, because they make better coaches. And sucks also, for people like me and you, but
no, yeah, if the everyday man ever wanted to be a coach, what I was about to say, former players, shit. I can think of multiple Ohio State backup quarterbacks where it didn't work out, they immediately become a GA and now they're coaching. JT Barrett's on the Detroit Lions staff, believe it or not. There's so many, backup quarterback is a very big thing. Lincoln Riley, when he was a sophomore freshman at Texas Tech, fucking Mike Leach told him, you're probably never going to play, son. and the next day,
well,
he became a fucking grad assistant. Like
Doug Peterson, backup quarterback. Kevin O'Connell, backup quarterback. Sean McVay, I don't know what he did.
I'm pretty sure he was just like a good quarterback in college. I think McVay was actually a baller.
Cliff Kingsbury, backup quarterback. Who else? I'm trying to think of other. I think
Day played
Zach Taylor
at Massachusetts.
Zach Taylor was a quarterback.
But yeah, I feel like it's a nice, easy transition, and a lot of I'm thinking it more so the college angle, but like there are so many former players on staff everywhere, NFL, college, you name it, and you don't like. I also feel like shit. There might be some coaches that they're like actively looking at like their third string, second stringers, and like seeing if they want to get into coaching one day. Like I feel like they're like recruiting them to get into it too. Like that's what happened with Mike Leach and Lincoln Riley. So I'm a big fan of hiring former players. I mean, for me and you, it's not fun, but yeah. Now, last thing I wanted to say: Eagles and Chiefs. Everett.
The Super Bowl saved for next episode.
No. I just want to announce I have flipped my pick again. I am now back on the Chiefs. I told you I won't be nailed in. I probably won't be nailed in until 10 minutes before the coin toss. Shit, I might have to see the coin toss.
Now you're fraud alert.
Yeah, that was loser talk, what I just said. No, I'll take it. I'll wear it. No, I'll wear it. I'll wear it. No.
They got you.
Fair. But I've switched back to the Chiefs. I've switched back to the Chiefs. I'll probably change next episode. I'm not giving any insight on the switch. Though.
So to wrap up this episode, I have Vikings related talk specifically, and I'm going to be doing my 2.0, my updated Vikings offseason wish list. So what you can do, by the way, just as we do while we're recording, we do just talk about our plans and how we edit stuff. Yeah. You can when you do this, do it the same way that you do the power rankings, where you have it and then it just says like after Brian Flores hired.
Got it. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I have Vikings offseason stuff because of a hire made today. Brian Flores, new DC for the Vikings. Let's go. And then I also have Jets offseason talk. I guess I'm just doing this by division now. Brian
Flores, he just came from the Steelers, correct?
Yes, he was the Steelers linebacker coach and I think assistant head coach. And before that, he was the head coach of the Dolphins. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the Jets and we'll finish off with the Vikings if that sounds good to you. All right.
Yeah, start us with the Jets.
So here is the Jets offseason wish list. Restructure CJ Mosley, Tyler Conklin, and Dwayne Brown. Extend Corey Davis. Re-sign Connor McGovern and Quan Alexander. Trade Elijah Moore. And for the love of God, trade Zach Wilson. Trade for Aaron Rodgers. Sign Mike McGlinchey, Lorenzo Carter, and Paris Campbell. Cut Denzel Mims and post June 1st, cut Justin Hardy. So, just a couple of things to note there. You could technically cut Corey Davis as well, but
what are your thoughts on Elijah Moore?
Elijah Moore, I just don't think wants to be in that system. I think that having a new offensive coordinator. That's what I said. Trade Elijah Moore. I didn't hear that. I think that Elijah Moore is a good receiver and a good slot receiver, but I also think Braxton Berrios can do that. And they're gonna have him because he's a good kick returner too, so they're gonna keep him. But I think that considering I think a lot of his beef was with Mike LaFleur, whatever.
Mike LaFleur.
And Zach Wilson, and I know that, but also like let him restart somewhere. Like the team just kind of like they need to get all of that kind of.
That's so horrible.
they need to get all of that voodoo out, and also if you're gonna trade for Aaron Rodgers, like my man, we already confirmed is a witch doctor. He's a bit of a weird dude. You don't want Elijah Moore near him if that's the case. You don't need that.
You don't want like actual spooky shit going on.
No. But the thing with Corey Davis is like I have him getting an extension. I think he has like 1 year left on his contract. And it does
He also
allow.
He's on a fat contract right now.
He is on a fat contract, so it'd be like $10 million in relief. But with an extension, I think you can also you get that relief, and obviously because like now you're kind of kicking that money down the road.
Yeah.
But I do also think that he's a good wide receiver too. I think Garrett will be the wide receiver one, but having Corey Davis is a good wide receiver in the NFL. And I don't necessarily think that he's worth all that money. So when they re-sign him, I think that it'll kind of fluctuate because obviously they've now seen him do all this stuff. But you can't really restructure him because he doesn't have anything to restructure. And I was talking about this. It didn't really get edited through, and people were like trying to like joke about it and like make fun of it in one of our TikToks. But extensions are a form of restructuring. Like, so when people are like this, I think it was the Dolphins when someone was like, oh, you're trying to restructure Austin Jackson, like a second round rookie contract. Dude, before you're talking, maybe you should figure out what the fuck a restructure means, because clearly you don't understand that you can extend contracts for players and that counts as cap alleviation. So that's just a note for that. But I think they definitely need Connor McGovern, like their center. He's a great center, and I've had him on a couple lists now. Quan Alexander also did a great job this year, so bring him back. They need to help at the right tackle position. Dwayne Brown could technically be a cut candidate. He has a lot of money. He's older, so depending on how they draft too. Lorenzo Carter, they need an outside linebacker. Paris Campbell also helps with that slot position. It's just speed, and like we both said earlier, we've said it before when we were talking about the Packers. Paris Campbell could go under the radar for a free agent signing.
I think he'd be very cheap.
And be cheap. And after this season, that's really impressive considering he looked great at the end of this year.
I also I can understand there's like injury concern there. Like he's like barely been able to stay on the field like since he's gone to the NFL. I'm obviously very biased as an Ohio State guy, but like Paris got the also Paris is fast. Like
he when he was on the field this year, at the end of this year, he had a couple weeks where he looked great. But also with Denzel Mims, another wide receiver, he hasn't really gotten any playing time for as good as people have thought that he could be. So you get cap space back, like you get $2 million in cap space back. Might as well cut him, let him go somewhere where he might actually be able to play, and you get that cap space. So that's kind of the sum of the Jets offseason. My nose been itchy like all episode. CJ Mosley also a candidate to just be a surprise cut, but he's kind of like the anchor in that defense. So even though he is 30, I think that, I mean, it does make sense for me for them to cut him. So
I also feel like he's doing a lot to help with just like that defense as a whole. Obviously it's not like he's playing D line, but Quinnen Williams is definitely benefiting.
Yeah, one thing that people will get upset with me about is I didn't really have them Sheldon Rankins has been on that team. They're like their second defensive tackle.
Yeah,
I didn't have him re-sign him because I just like he's worth a lot of money. I don't really think they have the cap because they already don't really have that much cap space. So people are already probably going to tell me that I'm playing fucking Madden right now. But like I think defensive tackles, they can probably draft them. They probably have some guys that they can just work on like getting better. Like Solomon Thomas was still pretty good for them this year, and he was just a veteran signing, like vet minimum. So I mean, anything's really possible at that defensive tackle 2 position.
Last thing I just want to think about, what do you think Zach Wilson's trade value is?
It's like cash consideration, maybe like a 7th round
pick. Practice squad players.
So now let me just propose this. Packers, you trade Aaron Rodgers, you'll get Elijah Moore, Zach Wilson, and like, I don't know, a 2nd round pick. How does that sound? Maybe a 1st round pick. Maybe we'll give you a 1st round pick.
As you know, as one of the most respected people in sports media, I cannot wait for the Jordan Love, Zach Wilson offseason quarterback battle.
No, that battle is going to be one for the ages. It's going to be a great one.
Who is taking over for Aaron Rodgers? Who will be the
now? If Jordan Love loses to Zach Wilson, then you know you
don't have something there.
Then you know you're fucked. Then you know it's wrapped.
Are you more confident in Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets or pairing up in Las Vegas with Devontae Adams? And does Brady retiring influence your factors in like Aaron Rodgers going to Las Vegas?
I think that there's a stronger likelihood of him going to the Jets just because of the capital the Jets have. Cap space wise, I think they're both kind of iffy, but overall, like the Jets is a better situation. They have more capital to give up on top of that. Like Elijah Moore actually is like a probably a good piece to trade
Where's
in a
Nathaniel
package.
Hackett now too?
The Jets. So the Jets have multiple first round picks. The Jets have capital. They have players that they can trade. Like I said, Elijah Moore is technically a player that could be in a package for.
I'm honestly shocked they actually kind of turned the shit around in 1 year.
Yeah, Robert Saleh. That's the Kyle Shanahan tree. Okay, the Vikings time. One will end with this. So Vikings signed today Brian Flores. The Vikings signed Brian Flores today. He was prior, if you do not know, he was priorly the head coach for the Dolphins, kind of formed the defense that they have now. That's obviously a great one. He was a pretty good defensive play caller when he was the head coach there. Was on the Steelers last year as the linebacker coach and like assistant head coach. Now he's signed with us. If he is on the team for 2 full seasons and then leaves for a head coaching gig, the Vikings will get 2 third-round picks as compensation. Wow. But he has to be on the team for 2 full seasons. He does also currently have a lawsuit filed against the league for certain misconduct and stuff like that.
Difficult for him.
So we'll see. But he was in contention this year. He is one of the top defensive play callers in the league. We've seen him do great. We've seen him coach teams to he turned the Dolphins around. He brought them to the playoffs. Like, great coach. I'm very happy to have him. He blitzes some of the most in the league, which is what we needed. He plays man, which is what we needed. So everything on paper is exactly kind of what we want. And I'm very excited to see Brian Asamoah in the system. I think that he's going to do really well. And especially like these rookie corners that we had that were playing man well. Duke Shelley, if he comes back, and then Caleb Evans and Cam Dantzler sometimes. But it's like these younger corners look like they're built to play man. So we'll see. But please God, do not bring Patrick Peterson back. Please God, don't.
Real quick before you get into your list, we were talking about it, how I now judge Ryan Day for what he allows to happen on defense. KOC, just in my opinion, kind of smashed this hire at DC. You know, maybe you still have your opinions on whether or not Ed Donovan.
It was looking spooky for a minute, though. It was looking spooky for a minute on this hire because they originally had, I think, 4 people lined up. Sean Desai, I think, is one of them. He withdrew his application. Then Evero, or whatever his name is, the Broncos' old DC from last year. He was in contention. The Broncos finally let him go and talk to other teams. And it was between us and the Panthers, and he chose to go to the Panthers instead of us. So then it was between Brian Flores, who was in consideration for head coaching jobs, and Mike Pettstein, who is an in-house candidate who has not had a defense ranked over 25th in the NFL. So if Brian Flores had gone to another team, we would be stuck with somebody who only produced a better defense in his. He produced a better defense than Ed Donatel, but only by like, I don't know, like 4 places. So not ideal, but great. I mean, great acquisition. I'm very happy about it. And we'll see how it goes. I think that there's a lot more physicality coming to the defense, and hopefully the offensive play calling can be a little bit better this year. And they need to refortify that offensive line for sure. But we'll see. We'll see. So, all right. And I also am realizing right now that I am missing offensive linemen in this re-update. But I guess we'll be getting those in the draft then. So here we go.
Yes.
Updated Vikings offseason wish list after the hire Brian Flores. Extend Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson. Cut or trade Dalvin Cook, Jordan Hicks, and Eric Kendricks. Restructure Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, Harrison Smith, Zadarius Smith, and CJ Ham. Resign Duke Shelley, Chris Tonga, Andrew DePaula, Blake Randall, and Dalvin Tomlinson. Or DePaula. Andrew DePaula. Resign Andrew DePaula.
I know one person in my life with the last name, and at least this is how he went when I knew him, DePaolo.
DePaolo? Even with an A at the end?
Paolo.
DePaolo. No, there's only one. It's Paola.
Oh, ours was Paolo.
Paola. I think it's DePaula. So re-signed Duke Shelley, Chris Tonga, Andrew DePaula, Blake Randall, and Dalvin Tomlinson. Then sign Byron Murphy, Sean Murphy Bunting, and Anthony Walker Jr.
Couple of names, couple of familiar faces, couple of same transactions as last time, Everett. My one big question is why the change of heart and the restructures on Harrison Smith and Zadarius Smith?
So after I kind of was looking at this after the hire Brian Flores, Harrison Smith has a $10 million alleviation on a restructure. I'd still kind of think that we should cut him. And I still kind of think that we should cut Zadarius Smith. But the kind of like safety blitzing that people have been talking about with Brian Flores' system, they're like thinking that Harrison Smith is a better fit for that. Also, we don't really have any immediate we don't have any immediate help. We don't have any immediate kind of person that will be able to just replace them. As Zadarius Smith, still using a 3-4, so there's no reason to get rid of him when he can still do well. But restructuring that contract, more so restructuring it to have bonus provisions so that some of his money that would have been in his contract now has to be there for him to be healthy. And that's a big thing. So hitting sack values and being healthy instead of just getting it base. So that way it also can alleviate some cap stress there. Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's a potential cut candidate. And I guess Kirk Cousins now is a potential trade candidate for the 49ers from what I've heard.
Really?
I've just heard that people are just talking about because Kyle Shanahan it's Trey Lance right now. That's it. So Adam Thielen could possibly be cut, but I think that having him there, he can play the slot, have him play the 3, also could help develop a wide receiver if we draft one in the first round, possibly JSN. We'll see. But re-sign Duke Shelley. He could
don't conjure first round JSN. Okay. Conjure
Duke Shelley.
4.
Duke Shelley could be our
4.
cornerback. Duke Shelley could be our cornerback 1. We'll see. He just has to develop more. But I mean, he was great last year. Chris Tonga is good depth in the interior. Andrew DePaula, Pro Bowl long snapper. Blake Randall did well when he stepped in for Darrisaw and Dalvin Tomlinson. Obviously, not the greatest.
Down to the long snapper right now.
Okay. Dalvin Tomlinson, technically not like the best defensive tackle this year, but he was also hurt and probably easier to re-sign than Daron Payne, which I was originally going to have. But his contract's like $20 million a year, so I don't really think that will happen. But getting Byron Murphy and Sean Murphy Bunting, Byron Murphy would be the number 1 cornerback on your team. He's played great whenever I've seen him. Then Sean Murphy Bunting could be a cornerback 3, cornerback 2, depending, or depth, really just depending on how he comes out. And then Anthony Walker Jr. would be in the inside with Brian Asamoah. Was injured for a lot of this year, but also like great numbers, great stats, great player. I think that he would do really well on this team.
All right, there's the updated Vikings breakdown. We love to see that. We love that.
So,
Ever, do you have any preview on what might be the upcoming off seasons this week? Maybe a quick little deep dive. Have you decided what you're doing next?
No, I kind of decide in the moment. But if you have been tracking what I've been doing, you kind of can see that
We're going by divisions, guys.
We're going by divisions. I just randomly choose a team, and then I'm just stuck doing that division. Although we'll be having a special guest off-season wish list. It's news to you because it is you. Chargers off-season wish list will be coming hopefully next episode. Grant has taken about 2.5 weeks to plan this, so it better.
There's been a lot of moving pieces. There's been a lot of questions. I didn't know ROC. Joe Lombardi was OC. It changes everything.
Hopefully that will be coming up, and hopefully you don't steal too much of my thunder. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Amazon, whatever. You name it. We're there at Waterboy Pod. Our handles are down below right here. You can find us at Twitter there. You can find us on TikTok there. Grant's handle's different, but that's just him. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, giving us support. Make sure that you comment, share with your friends, share with your children, share with your grandmother,
For our listeners with children, let them know. Let's get generations of water boys in
generations. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Water boys out.